Hey everybody, I was talking to Matt earlier, and I told him that I was gonna do another do a video because I've been kind of lacking on you guys. But so Matt suggested bringing up Venezuela, and as much as I'd like to talk about Venezuela, what I don't know is I don't know what's going on. Haven't been paying attention. The news is sketch at best. We don't know what's going on, but what we know is they're out of food, they're out of money, and they have no way to change the situation without violence. So, all these cool ideas with government, um, there's a price to be paid for them. And going on to this socialist train, communism, all that sort of stuff, we've seen since 1917 what that has done. Uh, when Russia went red, we saw what kind of violence they were able to enact on that. If you look back in history books, you see what kind of violence they were able to enact across the 30s, World War II. Uh, you look back at Cambodia, look at Vietnam, what was going on with there. Part of that was us, Vietnam, but you look at all these places and you can see what that fall does. Now, what we've seen less of is getting their shit back. Um, so we just put it as they're trying to get their freedom back, or however they're doing it. Really, all they're doing it. I mean, freedom sounds cool, and I got a freedom shirt on, and freedom's like, yeah, freedom, fuck yeah. I mean, that's not what they're working for right now. That's not what they're fighting for. Like right now, they're fighting for fucking food. And this video is gonna have a cuss a little bit. I'll put a not safe for work on there. But that's what they're fighting for. They're fighting for food. They're fighting to basically survive. The government's the haves. They're the have-nots, and they're coming after it. It'd be really cool if it was as glamorous as that, but what I don't know is I don't know if there's leadership. I don't know if there's a plan. Don't know if anything like that. They're just fighting. They're revolting. So there's a difference between that and an actual purpose-driven revolt or a revolution. So my buddy John Hurth, John was a longtime SF cat. Did some tracking books. Been talking to John for a long time. He pushed me a lot of like counterinsurgency documents, schooled me up on that. Not like SF school, but schooled me up on that sort of stuff, what was important. So if you look at it, without there being leadership and a plan, it's just people acting. Now, is the leader going to stand up? Yeah, somebody's going to see the opportunity that's right now, and they're going to band the people together. And that dude may be there. Say, I don't know. But what I wanted to do was take that and get you guys thinking about that. And I want you to apply it to what we're doing. We talk about running to the end of the driveway. What would cause us to run to the end of the driveway? Well, I mean, that's hard to think about right now because we're not hungry. We're not starving. We're not like that. But the Venezuelans, they ran to the end of the driveway, and they kept running. They ran right all the way to the capital. And they're doing whatever's going on right there. So what would cause us to do that? It could be the same things. You look at Katrina, you look at all these other national disasters, you look at things that can happen. Not the big the collapse sort of stuff that's happening. 10 years, 15 years, we could be in the same boat. We get a series of leadership elected that we put there and steers us into a spot where shit doesn't work anymore. So got to look at what we don't have and what we do have. Everybody's like, the Venezuelans don't have guns. Venezuelans don't have guns. I want you to think about history right now, and I want you to think about how little time in history we've been killing people with guns. When did we really start killing people with guns? Well, for America, we started in 1775. April 19th, it just passed by. And if that day passed by without you knowing something about it or thinking about April 19th, either you're not following me on social media or you need to go to an Appleseed. So, but before that, there were muskets. We hadn't killed that many people compared to human history with guns. So to say the Venezuelans don't have guns and the other guys got guns and I got it, it's no fun fighting a guy with a gun when you don't have a gun. But it is not out of the realm of possibility for you to get guns. And I'm guessing based off of just pictures, the pictures of Venezuelan, they look like troops, but they got a little blue bandana on their arm. I'm guessing those aren't government troops. So I'm guessing those are revolutionaries, freedom fighters, whatever they're going to get called. I'm not calling them good guys or bad guys because I'm not from Venezuela. I don't know. But so what we have is we have guns. Now, some states have less guns capable than other states, but we have guns. We can get guns. They're a lot of them. But what we don't have is we don't have leadership. And that's mainly what I want to talk about. Is I want to talk about leadership, because if we all run to the end of the driveway, none of us live on the same block. So if I run to the end of my driveway or run to the end of the block, I could very well be by myself. So how about you guys? And I'm not saying you got to have a little neighborhood watch thing going on like that. I'm talking about we don't have anything that ties us together that we're fighting for. My line in the sand might not be anybody else's line in the sand. I might go to guns long before somebody else does. I might go to guns long after everybody else does. Don't know. It just depends on the situation. What we don't have is leadership. We don't even have enough leadership right now to fight a gun ban. And that is what we are lacking. You have to have, if you take the basic counterinsurgency things like I was talking about with John Hurth, the you have leadership, and then you have basically guerrillas or the fighters, and then you have the underground that's underneath of that, and that's dumbing it down a lot. Without leadership, yeah, we got a lot of fighters, we got a lot of people that do a lot of work, we have a bunch of people that be on the social media, and we're saying all this sort of stuff, and primary and secondary, and that's a fairly big network, and we got all this sort of stuff. But what we don't have is we don't have a dude or a group of dudes or chicks or whatever that is saying the message that we can all rally behind. Because what are we doing to the NRA? We're thrashing the NRA right now, and the NRA is eating itself from the inside. So the biggest thing that we have is the NRA, and we don't support the message. And we got the other things like Firearm Policy Coalition. Firearm Policy Coalition isn't providing leadership. They're fighting, but they're not providing leadership. They're basically, they went to words where we think about going to guns, right? Because they're the smart ones with that. So they're fighting, but it's under words. And the leadership is preservation of Second Amendment rights. Got it, right? But we don't have that message. That's the only message we have. We don't have a message of how we're going to do that. We don't have all those sorts of things. So without that, and without good leadership, and I'll post the quote up here because I can't remember it directly. I've been using it since 2013, but I can't remember the quote. But I'll post it up a little bit later on the Patreon. Without leadership, it's bound to fail. So us trying to preserve our Second Amendment rights, we don't have that leadership, so it's bound to fail. Venezuelans, if they don't get their shit together and get under a banner, they're going to fail. As soon as people start eating, then their motivation is going to go away. But if they have a message, they have something to fight with, they have something to fight for, and they have some people that are fighting together, they're less likely to do it, and they're less likely to quit, and they will stay the course. So that's what we need to think about, and we need to find a way to get a message across that everybody can stand behind. People like this not one more inch thing, and I got it, but that's not a message. That's not something that people fight for. That's people not something that people sacrifice for. So we need to find something that people are willing to sacrifice. They won't even sacrifice their time. In fact, they won't even sacrifice their time enough to click share. All right. So if they won't even share it, which is free and has no repercussions, then because if Facebook decides to pull it down, it just pulls it down to share. They don't get kicked up. They don't go to Facebook jail because they shared something, unless you're in New Zealand, right? We're still in America. So if we can't get them to even share something, we're not going to get them to come to the court or the state house and hang out outside and do a rally or a protest. But there's things out there that people are willing to protest for. Okay? So if people are willing to protest for these things and they're not willing to protest for our rights, right? Then we don't have leadership. Now, I haven't found this leader myself. I haven't found this message myself, and I want to. I really do, because it's not me. That's not what I do. So I want somebody that's presentable. I can't even make it through one of these videos without cussing. So I can see me on national TV, be like, "Hey, motherfuckers," and that would happen. So it's not me, but we need to find those people. We need to bring those people to the top. We need to bring them up. We need to not tear them down, because when it comes to it, if we lose the guns, then when things go bad, we'll be doing what the people in Venezuela are doing right now, and attacking a guy that has a gun and an armored vehicle with a rock. And I don't have a class curriculum written for using rocks, so I really can't help with that, and it's just sheer violence. Going to guns is a little bit cleaner. I don't know if that makes any sense, but shooting someone is entirely different than beating somebody to death with a rock. Okay, knifing someone is different than shooting them. Shooting them from a long distance is different than all that. It's an entirely different type of killing. So if you have to beat someone together with a rock, or beat someone to death with a rock, then that is something worth killing for. And there's a difference between dying for something and killing for something. So when you're willing to do that, go to that level, that primal level of smashing a dude's head with a rock, then shit's serious. And go back to it. We can't even get somebody to do a share. So what is somebody going to beat someone to death with a rock for? And leadership and motivation is what's going to provide that. Now, do I need to beat people with rocks? No. I don't need to beat people with rocks yet. We're not there, right? I still got this. Still got the driveway special, right? I can still run to the end of the driveway and still have a tool to do that with, and I won't have to beat somebody together with a rock, or death with a rock. I don't know. I keep doing that, but that's what we need to find. So that's the challenge, and probably a couple days after I let you guys on Patreon, stew on this a little bit, I'll probably turn it public. That way, this can go out to other people. So we need to find those leaders. We need to identify them, and we need to start sharing their stuff. I really don't give a shit who it is, but it's somebody that's got to be able to come up with a good message that will keep our rights and keep us from shit happening. I don't think it is at the level of like president. Everything's a president. The president's got this much power. And if you really think that the president has that much power, you haven't studied the Constitution enough. And if you only know one amendment out of the entire Constitution, that's not going to help you. So you need to study the entire document, because that's what you're killing or dying for, right? So you need to get in there. So the president doesn't have that much kind of power. What I'm talking about is somebody that can band together the freaking whoever's controlling these 30 million guns or 40 million guns or 50 million guns, whatever it is, in the country. Then whoever's controlling them, the gun owners, then a message that the gun owners can get behind. So I just want to go on that a little bit. I'm glad I'm not in Venezuela. I'm glad I'm in America right now, and we should all be happy for that. And I hope that those people not only find their leadership that they need, but that leadership is solid and takes them back into where Venezuela was prosperous and everything was great down there. I really like Central America. I've been to Panama. I really like it down there. That area is pretty nice. So we can get somebody that does take charge there can actually take that place into prosperity, and those people can eat. If they get that, they earned it. And so I hope them the best. And not much I can do because we sell guns legally, so can't help them a lot. I wouldn't know who to give the guns to anyway. But just chew on that. Think about that leadership. What message that you would not necessarily beat somebody to death with a rock, but what you would run to the end of the driveway for. What would get you absolutely just stay off the couch. So what would get you off the couch? What would get you to share stuff? What would get you to risk having your friends laugh at you or poke at you or say that you're whatever? What are you willing to risk things for? So I'm going to invite you. There's not that many people on my Patreon. That's why I'm going to make it public. I'm going to invite everybody that gets to the 16-minute mark in here. Put it in the comments. What are you willing to sacrifice for? What is worth risk? And I'm not talking about going to jail or having to smoke check somebody. I'm talking about your friends on Facebook laughing at you, or maybe even Facebook banning you for like 2 days. What is worth that risk of changing people's perception of you? And once we start trying to figure that out, and we maybe get a bunch of comments in there, maybe it'll be a lot of good discussion. Maybe it won't. Maybe we'll learn something, and maybe something will get identified. Until then, keep getting to the range. We got some cool stuff coming in the next couple months that I think you guys will enjoy. That's still working out. You guys are actually helping with that. Going to be using the stuff that you guys are doing to get some more ammo, and then we're going to be starting a little company. Using my money for that, not y'all's money, but using my money to start a little company up, and I think you're going to enjoy what that company is going to do. So just hope everybody's doing good. Like I say, I apologize for not being on here as much as I should be, and I owe that to you guys, and we'll start making it worth your while for sticking around. All right, everybody, appreciate it.